Today we're doing a deep dive into the new KC300x Gen 3 turbos. We're super excited about it. We've released a few teasers, so if you haven't seen them, check them out. Some of those were filmed over a year ago. You might see that the turbo has changed just slightly in looks. We have improved things over the year, and we put hundreds, if not thousands of hours into testing different variations of the product, and then when we reached the final version, we sent out testers all around the world and put it through the paces. Towing heavy high elevations, lots of miles and lots of time on other trucks, including our own trucks here, where these turbos have been being tested for almost 2 years now. Longevity, great. Power, great. But what makes them so great, and why do we say that they're revolutionary? Well, follow along, because today we're diving in deep into data logs, temperatures, and the turbo itself. So what makes a turbo revolutionary? What's so special about it? And how is it such a big upgrade from others that were out there already? So there are literally some companies that will just put a billet wheel and a stock turbo, and they try to sell you guys on this being the greatest thing in the world. And billet wheels are great. In fact, one of the comments asked us, why don't we do a billet wheel? Well, we do billet wheels, we just do a lot more than just billet wheels. See, as you upgrade more aspects of the turbocharger, it increases the performance, the longevity, and the reliability of the turbo, as long as you're moving in the right direction. How do we know what direction we're moving in? The original 7.3 turbo came out 30 years ago. It was probably developed more than 30 years ago. Bearings have come a long way. Tolerances have come a long way. So beyond the compressor wheel, we have upgraded every aspect of the turbocharger. I'm not going to tear this down and break down every component, because we've already done that in a previous video. If you want to watch it, check it out in the link below. But generally speaking, we upgraded the compressor wheel, the compressor cover, the backing plate, the bearing housing, the turbine wheel, and the wastegate. So every part of the turbocharger except the outlet flange has been improved. We learned from what people have done over the last 30 years. We've learned from what we've done on other applications, and we crammed it all into a drop-in 7.3 turbocharger for you guys to enjoy. How much better is it? Let's dive into some of these dyno graphs to learn why we have new recommendations for injector sizes and how much this outperforms the competition. For those of you that aren't familiar with dyno graphs, along the x-axis it's showing the RPMs, and along the y-axis it shows horsepower on one side and torque on the other. So the top graph, or the top lines, is showing the torque, and the bottom lines is showing the horsepower. We stacked them both on the same graph so you could see both at the same time. So let's compare these three turbochargers, and I'll explain why this graph specifically was important. We felt like we wanted to share it. The red one is stage 1, the brown is stage 2, and the blue is stage 3. And as you would normally expect, the red one, or the stage 1, spools faster and comes on sooner. The stage 2 spools a little bit slower, and then stage 3 spools even slower. It's not super slow, but there is about a 300 RPM difference between the stage 1 and the stage 3. So there's about 100 to 150 RPM spool up difference between each turbocharger. But what's interesting about this graph is at the end you don't see much of a difference. And that's because these were totally out of fuel. So previously our stage 1, we typically recommended up to about 160/30 or 180/30, but our new Gen 3 stage 1 cleans up 205/30s to nothing. I mean, there's no fuel left over. So as you bumped up to the larger turbocharger, the gains were very minimal. So that's why our new recommendation as the max size for the stage 1 is 205/30s. It still runs fantastic on stock, 160 stock, 180/30. Basically anything smaller than 205/30 runs fantastic on the stage 1 and even the stage 2. We just put 205/30s as the max recommended size because it's able to fully clean up all that fuel and take advantage of it. This graph's going to get a little bit more confusing because there's getting to be more data on the screen. But we did keep one dyno run from the previous graph, which is the 205/30s with the stage 1. But the next three are showing 238/80s. And you can see the blue spooled a little bit slower than the red. We've seen that before. The 80% nozzle tends to make a little bit less torque down low, but you can see on the top end, there are huge gains in performance. That's because these turbos flow so much air, they're able to take greater advantage of the larger injector. In fact, our stage 1 works great with 238/80s. It wouldn't be my first recommendation or my first choice, but a few of the testers decided to run that size and they loved it, said it was the best truck they ever ran. But you can see on the top end, there is huge performance gains going from 205/30s in the stage 1 up to 238/80s in the stage 1, and then every stage you go above, you can see it's better taking advantage of that fuel. And getting 573 horsepower out of a drop-in turbo is just unheard of in the 7.3 world, and is doing it with ease. In fact, the larger Stage 3 hasn't been released yet because we're still testing larger injector sizes. It's been a little tough to find a truck and testers that have forged rods or girdled bottom ends or not afraid to blow up their truck. So if you are looking at a turbo size, going bigger than 238/80s and a Stage 3 is rod bending territory. So just keep that in mind as you guys are picking out your size. Our previous generations worked great. In fact, they were already some of the best turbochargers on the market and outperformed basically everything out there. But people want to know, how do our new turbos compare to the old turbos? And this is a great graph showing that. So if you look at our KC300x Gen 3 Stage 1 versus the Gen 2 Stage 2, you can see it right here in this graph, both with 205/30s. And why are we comparing the 1 to 2? Because the new Stage 1 is so much better than anything else out there. It almost blows away our old Stage 2 in every way. You see the Stage 2 previous generation made a couple horsepower more on the top end, but overall, the Stage 1 spooled faster, it made more peak torque, it made more peak horsepower, but it lost maybe 2 to 3 horsepower above 3,000 RPMs. Honestly, 7.3 guys don't spend much time up there. So for the average Joe, the new Stage 1 not only spools faster, has cooler EGTs, but it makes more peak power and basically more overall power in every aspect that you use the truck. So, how do these turbos stack up against the competition? Well, here's a dyno graph of 205/30s comparing the GTP 38R with the 1.0 AR housing. And you can see a drastic difference down low. At 2,000 RPMs, we're talking 300 foot-pounds of torque and 175 horsepower more at 2,000 RPMs. And then all the way to redline, you can see our Stage 1 outperforms the 38R in every single way. Granted, with a much larger injectors, you might get a little more top end power out of the top end, but this is with 205/30s. 205/30s and smaller is typically the customer that we have, so that's why we use this graph to reference it. Let's check out another competitor's dyno graph. I won't name this competitor, but it's a 63 millimeter, and you can just see it underperforms all across the board. It spooled slower, it made less top end power. It's just a stock turbo with a billet wheel in there. They're pretty proud of it. They like to troll us in our comments and come online and talk about how great their turbo is. But look, guys, we buy these turbos. We test them, we do compare them. We don't publicly put out this information very often, but trust me, we always test these things in-house and we know how they perform. So you can see that we blow away the competition in every aspect. Here's some more good data that we got while doing some of the testing. This is comparing a modified stock turbo. So this is, once again, stock turbo with a billet wheel, versus our new KC Stage 1. And you can see this is towing up a hill with a 16K trailer with 160/30s. And with the stock modified turbo, he had to keep it at 2,800 RPMs and 27 pounds of boost with 52 pounds of back pressure to be able to maintain that speed. He could not maintain it in overdrive, he did have to downshift. With the new turbo, he's able to keep it almost 500 RPMs lower in a higher gear with the same boost, lower back pressure, and this lower number is very impressive. I'm gonna have to explain a little bit, but when you take MAT minus IAT, so that's the intake charge, that's the hot air the turbo is making, the intake air temperature is the outside air that's getting sucked in. It's important to take both those into account because it might not be the same temperature on the same day. If you look at this, you'll see the KC Stage 1 was able to pull in a higher gear at lower RPMs with less back pressure and 38 degrees cooler when comparing MAT to IAT. That's very impressive numbers with just a turbo swap. On the same truck, comparing wide open throttle runs on the same tow tune, the KC Stage 1 was able to pull 13 PSI of boost more at 12 degrees lower when comparing MAT to IAT. So not only is it building more boost, it is building more boost efficiently. And that equates to more power, better towing ability, cooler EGTs, and all around better driving performance. I did want to address one thing that we get asked a lot. Can I send in my old turbo to be upgraded to this new model, or can you just send me the parts? The simple answer is no. There is nothing interchangeable between the two turbos except the outlet flange. Literally nothing swaps. The shafts are different, the turbine wheels are different, the compressor wheels are different, the thread on the compressor wheel is different, the covers don't swap, the bearings don't swap. There's just no way to rebuild any older turbos into this new model. The older turbos were great, especially if you have a 2nd gen KC. They were amazing turbos and they also blew the competition away. But to step up to the level of performance that you guys were demanding from us, we had to do a ground up redesign, which means none of those parts will carry over to any previous models. All right, E99 and OBS guys, your time is coming. We already have the turbos done. They're just out there getting longevity testing, but we hope to have it out and ready for the public probably 2nd quarter of next year. We're super excited and the results have been even more impressive. So stay tuned for more results on you OBS and E99 guys. Every single tester that we sent out a turbo said the same thing. Revolutionary, game changer, best turbo they've ever ran, best mod they ever did their truck. It was incredible. Everybody reported cooler EGTs, more boost, better towing ability, faster truck, overall an amazing experience. And we want you guys to experience that and we want to hear from you. So you may see some posts from testers online. As new customers get these turbos, we want to hear from you guys. Post up online your experiences. We'd love to hear your new max boost numbers, what kind of EGTs you're seeing before and after, whether you came from a stock turbo or another modified turbo. We want to hear from you. And if you have any questions about the turbo, reach out to us, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Send us a PM or an email or even give us a phone call. But if you have any more questions, please check out our website at kcturbos.com.